We're here with Michael, and he's going to tell you about his podcast.
Yeah, we got a little bit of everything going on. Mike, I own Crowntown Cannabis, the plug distribution, and a bunch of different retail businesses, but I also have a podcast called Let's Be Blunt at letsbeblunt.org. You can find us on YouTube.
Right on. So what's going on at Let's Be Blunt?
So, it's just a podcast letting everybody know what's going on, the latest and greatest in hemp and cannabis. I have 4 stores, a distribution company, and bringing awareness to everything. Like one of my stores in South Carolina was just raided a few weeks ago for legal hemp. My employees are facing pretty serious charges for conspiracy to sell marijuana. And, it puts us in jeopardy as consumers. It puts us in jeopardy as retailers. And, we look around and we see all these beautiful vendors out here and we realize we've come so far, but we're still fighting for everything. Like literally they're trying to take everything away from us that we built so far. So
is there a way anybody can reach out and try to help with any of that?
Sure, man. I'm working with different people around the country, different lobbyists. Most importantly, I work with J.D. McCormick and the American Healthy Alternatives Association. He's lobbying in many different states right now. You can find us at Let's Be Blunt. I got a GoFundMe on there. We're trying to raise funds, raise awareness. Of course, we're fighting this fight in South Carolina, but literally every state, they have some form of litigation or something coming after these exact products we're trying to sell. We have the looming 2023 Farm Bill, where they're trying to, again, readjust THC levels and compounds of cannabinoids that we can and can't have. So we have a lot to fight for. As we have 40-something states now moved towards legalization, we got so much more further to go. So, out here in Vegas, everything's beautiful, all these beautiful vendors, but if we don't get involved and start fighting and start giving money, none of this is going to exist much longer.
So, what are some of the products that your state is allowing in?
So, we have hemp-derived products. So anything that's less than 0.3% Delta-9 THC by volume. The problem we're finding in the Bible Belt or the Southeast where we're located is we got a lot of law enforcement that just doesn't want us there. So they're loosely interpreting these laws and they're arresting people for things that are federally legal. So, we only sell things that are federally legal, hemp-derived products. We got Delta-9 gummies, Delta-8. I really don't get into all the other cannabinoid blends, THCP and all those other things. I think it's just too new to market. We don't really know safety and everything of it. I'm not saying it's bad, but, not knocking the people that have it. Right, until it's proven. And that's, we're just trying to get back to the raw, natural form of this plant. I feel like all these derivatives are only coming because they won't let us have the plant in its raw, natural form like it's intended.
Right on, man.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about some of your other businesses.
So, I got the distribution company, I got the retail company, but most excitingly, I'm opening something in Virginia. We hadn't really went public with it yet. We're breaking ground very soon, but you'll see it everywhere. We're opening a cannabis-themed resort called Canna-Land, and it's an 80-acre cannabis-themed resort. It's incredible. It's really beautiful. We've got big money behind it. The same people that designed Margaritaville and Great Wolf Lodge designed this project, and we'll be launching it this year. So, it's like 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. It depends on which state you're in, which county you're in, and which law enforcement division wants to mess with you for that day.
It's a shame that we've come this far and that local municipalities are taking it upon themselves to scrutinize something that has oversight of the federal government, and they're taking it upon themselves to attack that.
Sure. And I used to be comfortable in the gray area, realizing that it takes some time to get the laws changed and then to get people educated. But now as I have employees and myself facing very serious, life-changing charges, I realize this gray area is really hurting way more people than it's helping. Meanwhile, as they take more and more products from us, all it's doing is making the black market thrive and grow and making these products be more and more synthetic, and we're getting further and further away from what nature intended. And until it's been proven, like cannabis has over hundreds of thousands of years, I'm not really comfortable with putting a lot of these new derivatives in my body and the way they're produced.
Mike, that's a really good point you brought up. When these local municipalities take it upon themselves to attack cannabis, it forces the black market to grow on
100%. I mean, you can look around. There's 2.5 million square foot space here at the convention center. The demand's not going anywhere. There's hundreds of dispensaries lining this whole building. And no matter what laws you throw at it, no matter how you try to enforce prohibition, it doesn't work. Drugs have won the war on drugs.
So what we're saying here, you guys, if you're not catching it,
is the police are actually driving black market sales of cannabis because they will not let gentlemen like Mike sell legal, federally legal hemp, and they're raiding him for that. So you really got to understand what this gentleman is talking about. We're in a center where there's...
How many booths are here, do you know?
Thousands, man. I mean, as far as the eye can see, my feet hurt from walking around, but you know, it's out here. But I'll be honest, this is my third year coming to this, and I'm seeing less and less booths and less free samples. And you know, I'm walking through, and there's people already breaking down their sections early because they're not getting the same turnouts and they're not getting the same buyers coming through because the market's flooded. And where we used to have people fighting together for the plant, now we have fractionated fights for hemp. We got fractionated fights for medical. We got fractionated fights for recreational, but it's all the same plant. And we're also busy fighting for our own agenda and our own angles that we're forgetting to come together and fight this. And ultimately, we're losing ground in fighting for this.
Agreed.
So
they're kind of breaking us apart and picking and choosing what it is that they want to allow us to have.
Right.
And that's not how it was supposed to be. This is a medicine for us.
Right.
Because Big Pharma overstepped and had already done that type of thing again.
Correct. And that's what we're facing in South Carolina. You know, we didn't actually break a law. The Attorney General put out an opinion letter in 2021 in South Carolina saying that raw unprocessed flower and Delta 8, in his opinion, is illegal, but they made no law against it. But I'm wondering how you could take a plant, take it off the vine, trim it, dry it, and put it in a package without describing a process. So what do you define as process is the first part. And then Delta 8, they picked out this one cannabinoid, and another retailer down there even called the Attorney General and DA's office and said, okay, how do you feel about HHC or all these other products? He said he could hear the police officer actually Googling what he's talking about, and he's like, we're not going to allow that either. But you know, the DEA and the Senate and the USDA have clearly defined what hemp is, and it's cannabis flower that's lower than 0.3% Delta 9 content. That is it. That's the definition. So literally everything else under that still falls in. They're making up and you have law enforcement that's supposed to enforce the law is now influencing the law, where they're now bending it correct, because they're losing revenue because they don't have the search and seizure money that they've had for decades now, and they're losing revenue. And police is a business, and it takes money to fund it and to pay salaries and to get equipment. And you know, there's no money in murders, there's no money in rape cases, there's only money in the low-hanging fruit of petty drug charges and taking funds from that and funding their police departments. And they've got to make that money up somewhere. Off of a plant that's running this whole thing, that's legal everywhere. You know, I was out in the parking lot thinking earlier, I was smoking a joint. December of 2016, December 31st of 2016, if I was standing in that parking lot smoking, I could go to jail. But literally at 12:01 that same night, I'm a law-abiding citizen. And that shows you how arbitrary these laws are. That they didn't do anything to that plant to make it any safer. All it is they changed the law. So the most dangerous part about this plant is being caught with it.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. You know, Mike, you have a really good grasp on what's happening in the cannabis industry. What are some things that you see happening hemp-wise and cannabis-wise nationwide?
So you feel like everybody hears all this, oh, we're going medical, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're rescheduling. They're trying to reschedule now from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. We all go, oh, that's great, because Schedule 1 means it has no medicinal benefit. Schedule 3 means you now need a doctor's prescription. It has to be FDA approved, has to go through clinical trials and everything else for a product that's less efficient, lesser quality than what we're selling out here. So that's, you know, we're getting bombarded with all these terms, decriminalization, rescheduling, and all that. The full thing we got to legalize. And the problem is now we're all jostling for a small part of this industry, and we're all fighting the black market. So what you got is more and more people out here that are undercutting each other's prices to try to stay relevant and try to stay business. So literally it's a race to the bottom.
What do we do?
So what we do is we come together under one umbrella, one roof, figure this out together, or there's going to be nothing left to fight for, because ultimately there has to be a certain amount of profit in this to survive. And if we can't get off the ground before we even get started, we're not going to survive. And that's exactly what we want. They won't. The industry's imploding on itself right now.
So where do people go to one, to contact you, and two, to get involved with helping fight for cannabis?
Yeah, so it's different state to state, it's different county to county. A great place to start is going to the American Healthy Alternatives Association website. Start on there, and then again, go to letsbeblunt.org. We're going to post links on there of different organizations. I have one personally. We're trying to combine a lot of these organizations nationally to one organization so we can have one voice, but we're running out of time already. The damage is almost done. So, we need to regulate for safety, not just for THC content, and we need to regulate licensing and marketing so just any old gas station or smoke shop can carry anything they want. Some of these products out here, I believe, are very dangerous. Not everyone cares about putting good quality products in and making sure the purity and quality comes from the right places. It's all come down to margins and numbers, and these products are becoming more and more unsafe.
Excellent.
Yeah, man.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Thanks for talking to me. I appreciate it, man.
We're going to contact you.
Yeah, please do, man.
We're going to get up and let's be
let's all get involved, man. I'd love to everybody be involved. Be looking for Canna-Land coming, hopefully towards the end of this year, 2023.
So cool,
yeah, man. So we're going to never stop fighting. I didn't choose this plant. This plant chose me. And unfortunately, I don't have a choice. My whole life is involved in this and invested in this, and it's this way or no way. So that's what we're doing, man. But thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Indeed.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it.